Hi everyone, I'm Charlotte. I am the person behind this style and beauty blog, and although I've had the beauty blog for over a year, I kind of neglected it for the last sort of 8 months or so, maybe 6 months, because I was finding it really difficult to explain how to do different looks, makeup and that kind of thing without physically being able to show you. So a few people said to me, well, why don't you do tutorials on YouTube, because you watch them all the time, and which I love doing. And so I've decided to do my own. So this is kind of new to me, so I need you to bear with me while I get used to doing the makeup on film, and also to being on film. That's my dog Spud in the background, so which he likes to come and hang out every now and again, so bear with him. But yeah, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a background as to who I am and how I became a makeup artist and where I've worked, and so you know a little bit about my credentials. So I qualified in 2000, I think, or 2001, here in South Africa, and I then went with my tiny little qualification to London, and the first job I got was working for Calvin Klein in retail, and it was great experience. It was new to me, and I learned a lot. You know, when you work for the big makeup companies, they take you for training, and so they teach you more about how to do makeup and that kind of thing. And so yeah, I learned a lot. And working in retail, in any industry, in any line, is very difficult and hardworking sometimes, but it's great experience, and it teaches you how to deal with different people, and I learned how to do makeup on different people, and it was really, really great experience. I then went to work for a company called Bobbi Brown, which everyone, or a lot of people know, and I also worked in retail, and I worked for them for a couple of years and had great fun. Met some really great people, and I learned a real I learned how to do real everyday makeup for all ladies, and it was great. You know, I'd had some experience before, but Bobbi Brown was really great in teaching me how to do makeup for everybody across the board, different races, different skin colors, different to different degrees. But it's very classic makeup. It's very everyday, and it was great. I mean, I learned when I started doing brides or bridal makeup, it was it stood me in great stead to know how to do pretty classic makeup. So Bobbi Brown taught me a lot with regards to that, and I worked for them. Then I decided to come back to South Africa, and I got a job with a company called Professional Makeup, who I think still exist, but they, I think they're only online now. They used to have at the time I joined, they had a makeup school where they taught people how to be makeup artists, and they also went around giving lessons, corporate events, that kind of thing. And they were great also for to learn the basics. So if you were fortunate enough to have a lesson with them, They taught you how to wear the right tones or the right colors on your skin, how to do basic pretty makeup every day, how to make it a little bit stronger. It wasn't very over the top, it wasn't very exciting makeup, but it was great. And I got a bit of an opportunity to teach, and it was great fun. That was my favorite. So hopefully this will be my next teaching outlet. And yeah, I hope I succeed in that, because I absolutely love teaching people how to do makeup. It's probably the one thing I miss the most. And yeah, so I worked for them. Then I left and I went to go and work for MAC. And most young makeup artists will tell you, maybe not these days, but back then, that it's every makeup artist's dream to go and work for MAC. And I think the appeal is that they're very well known, but also their brand is very cool. It's very edgy. It's also very vast. Their range is amazing. So, sorry. And yeah, so I went to work for MAC, and it was the best thing ever, because they're great at teaching you how to bring out the creative side of yourself as a makeup artist. And I had felt up until then all the brands that I had worked for were very, a little bit stuffy and a little bit boring, and maybe a little bit dull. But actually they weren't. It was just their brands were very classic, and for years I was like, oh, they were so boring and whatever. But actually I learned more about being a makeup artist with them than I did with anyone else. And even though MAC was loads of fun, and they do teach you a lot, and you become very creative and very good at being a makeup artist, I had already gained most of my experience that I carry with me today at the other brands. So I'm very thankful and very grateful that they taught me a lot. So yeah, then after working for MAC, I decided to go back to London, and I probably would have wanted to still get a job with MAC, because I still love the brand very much. But I decided and met someone who introduced me to a brand called Stila, who I hadn't really known that much about, but they were a great brand, and they were at the time owned by Estee Lauder companies. So Estee Lauder as an umbrella brand own MAC, and they own Bobbi Brown, and at the time they owned Stila. And so I immediately assumed they must be relatively good brand, and I thoroughly enjoyed working for them. And I think I tell people now that I didn't realize how great a brand it was even while I was working for them until after I left. And when I came back here to South Africa 7 years ago, they weren't remotely on the cards. No one had ever heard of them. And so yeah, I regretted having left working for them, and I really couldn't wait for them to come here one day. And the good news is now they are here. And the sad thing is, perhaps because they're so new, and people are still learning, South African women are still learning more about different brands and makeup, etc., they perhaps go a little unnoticed as a brand, but their products are absolutely beautiful. And as far as their brand and their products go, I think they're like up at the top, and I hope that they will become as big as here as they did in the UK. What eventually happened just before I came back was they Estee Lauder companies sold Stila as a brand, and it was shortly after that I left, not for any particular reason other than I wanted to come home, and I was a little bit tired of London. So yeah, but I'm very excited to say that they are here now. I think they've been here for 2 years now, and I've tried to get as many people as I can onto the brand, you know, because people now know, here in South Africa, they now know MAC and they now know Bobbi Brown, but they don't know Stila, and they don't know some of the other ones, and so I'm very excited, and you'll see that I still use a lot of their products, but I don't have a favorite. It's, you know, I have favorite products, and I think most makeup artists will tell you that they have favorite products, and maybe some people have favorite brands, but it's very difficult because these days there are so many makeup brands, and they all know how to make some really good products. So we can explore that together. We can investigate, and although we don't have as many here in South Africa, we do have a lot, and we're much more fortunate now than we were 10 or 15 years ago. So it's quite exciting. So yeah, that's the background. About 2 years ago, so when I came back from South Africa 7 years ago, I didn't go back into makeup. I decided to work in the clothing industry for a while, and I did that for 5 years, and then 2 years ago I left and decided to start my own beauty business. And before I sort of launched it or got it fully going, I joined my sister in doing our own ladies clothing range. So I haven't really been that into the makeup. I do it part-time. I still absolutely love makeup. I love doing weddings. I love doing makeup for friends, for occasions, and that kind of thing. And of course my absolute favorite is to do lessons, to teach people how to do makeup. So I'm going to do that now through my tutorials, and I hope that we can have fun together and do different things. And I'm going to start by doing a basic everyday makeup tutorial, and let's see how that goes, and if it's successful then I'll carry on and do some more. I know on my blog I did a little explanation about how to do party makeup, and then I did sort of smoky eyes, and then I talked about different products like highlighters and that kind of thing, and I'll cover that all as we go along. But I think everyone wants to know how to do every basic makeup. You know, makeup can be very complex. You know, it takes us makeup artists years and years to learn how to do stuff really, really well. But makeup shouldn't be scary, and it isn't really, and it's quite easy to teach people how to do everyday makeup. And when you learn, you'll never really forget, and you'll feel so excited about, you know, getting ready and doing your makeup, because it won't be scary or intimidating anymore, and you won't think it's a pain in the neck and a hack to do. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I hope we have great time together learning, and exploring makeup and style. We'll do some style as well. So thanks everyone, and I'll see you soon.